is the DiscoTech Radio Show.
Well, hey there folks, and welcome back once again to the DiscoTech XL Show podcast with myself, Andrew Eddy Edwards, in the driving seat with you this week. Well, we're going to take things a little bit lighter, funkier, and some just good solid house music this week. So by now, you know what to do. Grab yourselves a glass, sit back, relax, and turn the volume up. You know why? Of course you do. It goes like this for you.
Make the most beautiful music I can possibly believe in, and then if other people like it too, then great. if I'm ever home long enough, I try to get out and see what the other half is doing, or when I'm out on the road, like just being in Ibiza and everything with everyone that was there, I had to make the rounds because it's not often that all of my compadres are all in the same spot, you know. I'm the kind of DJ that like to play really close to the crowd. I prefer having my DJ booth really close to the dance floor or right up on top of the people because I like to feel like I'm a part of what's going on as opposed to being what's in control of what's going on. And with that, I get a chance for people to get close enough to me to ask me, well, you know, what's happening on the house scene in New York, or what's the new stuff, and they also tell me how much they like all the new American house music, and they don't hear enough of it here because there aren't enough British DJs that play it. So yeah, I enjoy bringing it to them. To follow someone else, but I think my audience more than anything expects me to be true to what I do. You know, I think if they come to me and they hear me playing something that's a little what they like to call out of character, they tend to have a problem with it. So. Make the most beautiful music I can possibly believe in, and then if other people like it too, then great.
DJ. soul, in my veins, on my mind 24/7. Don't care if it's jazz, soul, tech, minimal, funky. I love it. I love it. House music. House music. House music. House music. It's all about the house music.
over a week away from our next event then, and all roads lead back to the Albert Shed, Southwater, Telford, for the end of May Bank Holiday special, Saturday the 25th of May, 9pm through till 4 in the morning. Local legend, fantastic music producer and DJ Steve-O. He's going to be joining us alongside myself, Aoife and Andy D are going to be in attendance for that one. Just £5 on the door. Make sure you get down for that one. And then the normal June sessions resume, first Saturday in June, and we're going to be joined by the one and only Glenn Horsburgh. He's going to be joining us. That's going to be Saturday the 7th of June. Glenn Horsburgh, Let There Be House Aficionado. Again, that's going to be 9:30, I believe, through till 4 in the morning with a pre-party at the Fairground Bar. But get this, it's going to be a pre-party in the daytime. So we're going to be there from around about 3-4 in the afternoon through till about 9. So you can get your sort of sunshine vibes on. It's going to be a little bit more chilled, a little bit more laid back. Free entry into Fairground, a £5 on the door for that one. Can't wait for it. It's going to be a belter.
Mix with Andrew Eddy Edwards. This is the DiscoTech Radio Show.
Focus. Focus. illusion, a fly illusion, keeps you coasting on the rhythm you're cruising. Up, down, round and round, rhymes are found, but nevertheless you got to get down. A fly illusion keeps you coasting on the rhythm you're cruising. Up, down, round and round, rhymes profound, but nevertheless you got to get down. Funk confusion, a fly illusion keeps you coasting on the rhythm you're cruising. Up, down, round and round, rhymes profound, but nevertheless you got to get down, down, down. A fly illusion, funk, 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 funk confusion, a fly illusion, 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 funk confusion, a fly illusion, funk confusion, a fly illusion, keeps you coasting on the rhythm you're cruising.
Insult, man. The heat. It's coming down hard. We got to get our shit together. Look around. Everything that is taking care of business is together. Dig it?
Funk confusion, a fly illusion keeps you coasting on the rhythm you're cruising. Up, down, round and round, rhymes profound, but nevertheless you got to get down, 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 down.
Wait a minute.
but nevertheless you got to get down, down, down.
Well, we're right out of time for this week's DiscoTech XL Show podcast. Thanks ever so much for tuning in. Hope you really enjoyed the show. A little bit lighter, a little bit funkier, a little bit more housey for you. If you are interested, the full playlist will be up on the Mixcloud account. Go check that out. And don't forget to check out the other podcasts from our other fellow residents, Ether E, Andy D and KMO Maverick. Right, all that's left for me to do is to say see you next time. So ciao for now, people. Signing off. Ta-ra.